Space Coconut.
Okay, and today we're going to talk about the Rift and why people who say you don't have to participate if you don't want and it's all free anyway are either willfully ignorant or genuinely have no idea what they're talking about. Before I get into this spicy nugget, sub, bell, like, and share if you like what I'm doing here. If you ever want to talk about anything you see here, I'm live on Twitch every Saturday, or you can join the Discord and talk about anything you feel like with other coconuts. Links to everything are in the description. Today's video is brought to you by the word cost, the expenditure of something such as time or labor necessary for the attainment of a goal. We've all heard one or two of those excuses thrown out by someone blindly defending the Rift, either in the comments or the forums. Unfortunately for everyone, they're wrong. Participation in the Rift is unavoidable if you play the game, and the time you spend grinding for the goodies in the Rift is the true cost if you actively try to complete it. And this is where the Rift becomes predatory. It's designed in such a way that casual players will never complete the Battle Pass through normal play. But lucky for them, the Rift will let you purchase any tiers you're missing in order to complete it without grinding for the low price of $1 per tier. I say $1 since at its lowest you can buy 500 cells for $5. If you're going to tell me that it's cheaper if I buy a pack of 6,000 cells, I'll tell you exactly what you're saving. $5 for 500 cells makes them about 1 cent per cell. With the $50 pack of 6,000, it's about 0.008 cents per cell. So while yes, if you spend $50 on 6,000 cells, you're going to save about $10 on the same amount of cells, right? But you're still spending $50 instead of $5, which means you're not saving $10, you're spending $45 more. This is an economics decision that you need to decide for yourself, so the point loses meaning in this discussion, but I just figured I'd let you know that little fact. If a person, like myself, chooses not to participate in the Rift, we don't have to pay for the premium pass. However, we are forced to see the Rift notification that tells us that we've received a reward. While it sounds nice, this is what happens most of the time. You click on it to claim your reward, and you're greeted with an empty box. But what's that right below it? What I could have received if I paid for the paid track of the Rift. They won't use the word paid, but prefer the word premium instead. Even if I have no desire to see these messages, we have no choice because they pop up at the end of every single match. This is where the forced participation comes in. Now I know some of you are scoffing, but this small thing that no one can opt out of is a key ingredient in utilizing psychological manipulation on people who are particularly vulnerable to it. However, if you don't have a problem not buying the Rift and you think I'm just making things up or people just don't have the mental fortitude to not buy it, it's because you're not the target. I'm sure you don't understand, so I'll put it this way. You ever been to a crosswalk that beeps? The beep is useless to you because you can see the signal change, but that beep is invaluable to a person who is visually impaired. The beep isn't for you, but unlike the beeping meant to help an impaired person, these manipulative tactics prey upon people susceptible to them. If you still don't care, you probably kick small helpless animals and get angry at them for being in your way. As for the people who say that they're free, how many forum threads have you read about people trying to grind through the pass in order to get to the end, only to get completely burned out when they get it? I've done this in a past video, but why not? I'll do the painful math again. If a player wants to get to tier 70 for the free Rift in order to get the reward at the end, you need to grind for shards. So you need 70 tiers. Each tier costs 10 shards. This is 700 shards. Each shard costs 800 XP to gain, which means you need 560,000 XP to grind the Rift without challenges. Well, let's pretend that you get 600 XP for each 10-minute match. You're looking at 933 matches to grind from 1 to 70, which would take about 156 hours of matches. This is nearly 2 entire levels of devotion rank. Now, to be fair, roughly half of that can be done through challenges, which would mean you only need about 78 hours to finish 467 matches. Now, I know my math isn't perfect. These numbers will vary depending on the player, but we're using a very simple metric that many people could agree is reasonable. The Battle Pass is not free. It comes at the cost of time and mental endurance. Sure, those same people who like to kick small animals will say that if they can't handle it, they should just quit the game. But is this what the devs want? Did the devs make Dead by Daylight so people will not play the game? Of course, companies need and function on money. However, goodwill might be more valuable than cash. Can you imagine how popular the game would be if its balance and monetization didn't drive people away from the game? People who really love this game recognize its potential and are driven to quit due to the decisions the devs make, either willingly or by force. I can't imagine that the lack of a decent Halloween event was really their idea, but rather their overlords in accounting. Aside from the Rift grind, there's also the grind for perks, so aside from having to invest an absurd amount of time for charms, which is technically voluntary, there's the mandatory grind for perks. None of this is particularly a dig at the devs, but rather an explanation of what these systems actually mean for a player's investment and choice to participate in those systems. Many companies need to solve these problems for their own games, but some companies have decided to build their systems towards benefiting the players first and the companies second. Behavior just isn't one of those companies. But hey, at least they're doing everything they can to improve the visuals of the game. I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with being able to look good on the next-gen consoles that are coming out. Yeah, it's totally for the players currently in the game. That's why the game's optimized so well when those new updates go live. Anyway, I have more scripts to write because Discord had some good ideas for this week's videos leading up to my trip to Vegas this weekend. I won't be able to stream, but maybe I can crank out a vlog or something during the trip. We'll see. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments and let's have a discussion. Oh, before I forget, I've created something funny. And as soon as I get my Teespring account switched over to a new email, you'll find out what it is. And I promise it's good. But until then, I'll see you in the fog.